Good morning, family. It is early. It is exactly 7:30 a.m. I got my coffee. Cheers. So, the dinner we made Sunday, the mini Thanksgiving, was a hit. Everybody loved it. We were actually able to eat leftovers for 2 days, for Monday and Tuesday. It is Wednesday morning, but I want to go ahead and get all the meat off of the bones, get the bones on the stove, start making some stock, because today I'm going to make soup. Hello family, welcome back. If you're new here, welcome. I am Vicky and you are with Grammy in the Kitchen. Let's turn this chicken into some soup. I'm undecided if I'm going to make dumplings. I don't think I am. Noodles. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. Chicken noodle soup, because I want to make an artisan bread so we can have something to dip into the soup to absorb some of that delicious nutrient-dense broth. So first we need to get down here and debone this chicken. There is still a lot of meat on this chicken, but we're just going to go ahead and pick it all out because we're going to use some of this in our soup, and then some of this we'll just stick in freezer bags, put in the freezer for when we need chicken for something. Alright, so let me go ahead and get this all deboned, and I'll bring you right back when we're ready to move over to the stove. By the way, this chicken was so good. So that's all the chicken we got off of that bone. This is the stock it created when we were cooking this in the oven. So I'm going to skim off this fat and put that in here, as well as some water. You can see how congealed that is. That is beautiful. Alright, and here we go. Now I'm going to cover the bones with some water. I'm not going to season it with salt or pepper or anything, but I do want to put 2 bay leaves in the pot just to add a little bit of flavor. And I want that to sit on the stove for about 2 hours, simmering, getting all of the goodness out of those bones. In the meantime, we're going to go ahead and make a loaf of artisan bread. So we're going to start off with 3 cups of flour. I have a 5-pound bag of yeast in my freezer. I'll have to fill my little convenient bag real soon. Alright, so 2 teaspoons of yeast, 2 teaspoons of salt, I'm going to whisk that together. And then we have 1.5 cups of water going in. Alright, time to get in there with our hands, friends. We want to make sure we get all of that loose flour incorporate into our dough ball. Alright, we almost got it all up. It's really a no knead bread, but I'm only kneading it to get the loose flour incorporated. Alright, no loose flour. I want to get all the goodness back in here. Let me clean up my mess. We're putting a lid on it. If you don't have a lid for your bowl, just cover it with saran wrap. Now we're just going to let it sit right here until it doubles in size. I have the chicken bones in that pot cooking. We'll let that seep for 2 hours. It's only been 15 minutes. And in that time we made our artisan bread. Now we need to go to the freezer and get some carrots and some celery, some green beans, peas, and corn. Green beans, peas, and corn are my go-to for soups, for casseroles such as chicken pot pie or something like that. So I need to go to the freezer and get that. And I do have a small onion we need to chop. But right now we're at a standstill. We are going to be using that half bag of egg noodles that we had left over from last week that we bought the week before and didn't use when we did our crock pot meal. Alright, so I'll see you when we're ready to strain that chicken, get that going for chicken noodle soup, and the artisan bread when it's ready to go into the oven. Our dough has risen. Beautiful. Now we need to go ahead and get our parchment paper ready. Our Dutch oven is in the oven, heating up with the oven at 400 degrees. All right, I'm going to put a little bit of flour on the top. And I have flour on our parchment paper. All right, let's go ahead and turn this over. Chicken has, the bones have been in the water for about an hour and a half. Oh, that is so pretty. Make sure it's not sticking anywhere. Alrighty, let's turn it over. Get it into a nice pretty ball. I do want to give it a good score. I'm not going to worry about making designs, just putting some score lines in here. That is all we're going to do. Our Dutch oven is hot. All right, let's pick up, ooh, I just touched that, ouch. Okay, so let's pick up our dough ball, put it right inside. Beautiful. Put the lid on. So now we're going to put our bread in the oven for 45 minutes with that lid on it. And then we'll take the lid off and bake it for another 15 minutes. Hopefully the top will get nice and golden brown. Let's look at the chicken stock. The chicken stock is looking good. But I do want to cook it until the bones just fall apart in there, because the breastbone and the backbone is still connected, and I want to cook it to just pulverizes. So we're just going to leave that on it, but we need to keep an eye on the water level. Make sure all those bones are under the water. All right, we're doing good, we're doing good. Now I need to go to the freezer and get everything I need to get the soup ready to start cooking. You saw my video from this past spring when I bought these carrots and celery from Azure Standard, and I said I was going to put these in individual freezer bags for convenient use. Confession time. I did not. They're still in the original bag, but that's okay. I'm going to take about, I don't know, a half a cup, 3/4 a cup of celery. The same with the carrots. Back in the freezer. So I have 8 ounces of peas, 8 ounces of green beans, and now I want to do 8 ounces of corn. These are all frozen vegetables. Oh, perfect. Perfect. I'm going to go ahead and chop up this onion. I'm going to go ahead and add the onion scraps to the chicken stock, just for added flavor. So I have the celery, onions, and carrots in here. My 8 ounces of corn with my 8 ounces of green beans, 8 ounces of peas, and my half bag of egg noodles. The bread has been in the oven for 15 minutes. Chicken stock's been going for 2 hours. We're going to let that cook for a little bit longer because I want to extract all of the goodness out of those bones so we can get some nutrients that our body needs, because chicken broth is actually gut healing. So if you have any gut issues at all, chicken broth is very good. It helps with flu and the cold coming into fall, and that is prominent in the fall, so we want to make sure we get all the healing we can get out of those chicken bones so that we stay healthy. Our gut stays healthy, our body stays healthy, our brain stays healthy, because we want to fight off anything that is out there, virus, bacteria, whatever the case is, so we can stay healthy and whole. Chicken broth is where to go. My goal this coming into fall and winter is to have something, soup or casserole, at least once a week that we need to use a chicken broth so that our body can stay healthy through this cold and flu season. And anything else that they said that is out there, We don't want to get sick. We don't want to get sick. Chicken broth is looking beautiful. It's nice and golden and just gorgeous. It smells so good in here. If you don't make your own chicken stock, and I highly suggest you to, it's literally taking scraps that would go into the garbage and turn it into a healthy food. I'm not saying it is garbage, but if you don't save your bones, if you don't save your vegetable scraps when you're cooking in your kitchen, you can turn those scraps into a healthy food item, a broth that is gut healing and body healing. Start saving your scraps. Start making your own stock or broth at home from things that we're going to throw in the trash anyway. It's no waste. It's a no waste, no cost chicken stock. 45 minutes is up. I can't wait to open it. This is hot, hot, hot. Ooh, look at that. Alright, so now this is going to go in the oven for 15 minutes. Oven is still on 400. I did add 4 cups of water to my stock and brought it back to a boil. And the bones are falling apart. Oh yeah. Alright, let's go ahead and take this over to the sink and strain it. I have a bowl to collect the broth. I have a large strainer, and then I'm going to put a piece of muslin over top of the strainer. Put this in the sink. That way I can collect all the bones and stuff in here and collect the broth in the bowl. The broth has been simmering for 3 hours now. Oh yeah, the bones have disintegrated in here. Just want to show you how the bones have fallen apart. Like, I cannot find that breast meat in here at all. That's part of the breast meat. That's the breastbone right there. Some of the backbone. Oh, that's what we want. And this is our chicken stock. Now I'm going to go ahead and rinse that pot out, get all the little debris out, and then we're going to start building our soup. Now I do want to saute the onions, the carrots, and the celery. So I rinsed out this pot. It is not clean, but it doesn't have any more of the debris in here from the chicken stock. Alright, so we're going to put it on a medium low. We're going to add a little bit of olive oil. And we're going to add our vegetables. So I just want to saute these vegetables just a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and add some salt and pepper. We've been cooking the vegetables for about 2 minutes. Our bread is almost ready. We have 25 seconds. Ready? Here we go. Beep. Oven off. Look at that, family. Oh, it's so beautiful. I'm going to add a little bit more oil. I might have about 1/8 of a cup in here so far. So I decided I'm going to make a creamy chicken noodle soup. So I went ahead and took a couple tablespoons of flour and then some milk to add to the chicken stock so it could be a creamy chicken noodle soup. I've never made a creamy chicken noodle soup before, so I mean, other than like chicken and dumplings, but you don't add milk to chicken and dumplings. It's just the starch on the dumplings in that broth will turn it creamy. But we're actually going to intentionally make a creamy chicken noodle soup. Alright, that looks good right there. We're going to add 2 tablespoons of flour to make a roux. Can you see that? Alright, that's good. Can you see the color of our chicken stock? That is just gorgeous. Added a little bit of chicken stock in here just so we don't have lumps in our soup from that roux. And now I'm going to go ahead and add the rest of this chicken stock. So beautiful. We're going to go ahead and add our corn, peas, and green beans. The chicken that was on the bones that we took off came up to be 1 3/4 pounds. I'm just going to go ahead and use all of it. All right, now I just want to get everything come to a simmer before we add our pasta. The dinner is coming along perfect. All right, our soup has been boiling for about 20 minutes. Now we're going to go ahead and add our egg noodles. So this is an 8-ounce bag, or it was a 16-ounce bag, but it has 8 ounces in here. All right, we're just going to let that cook until the noodles are done. Then we'll add some milk to make it creamy, and then dinner will be ready. Just go ahead and slice our beautiful bread. Look at all those holes in there. Can you see that? Oh, that is so beautiful. Smells so good. I love a good crusty bread. Clean up my mess. Now we do need the taste of soup for our salt and pepper. It needs salt and pepper. I'm going to go ahead and add about 1 cup of milk. And that's it. We're done. Just going to let that cook for about 2 more minutes so the pasta will be done. Then we're going to go ahead and scoop out some deliciousness with some bread. Okay, you have heard me say this before. Real food made with real ingredients that is healthy, nutrient-dense meals takes time. I'm not exaggerating. Now, if you have home canned chicken stock on your shelf, this will go a lot faster. I had the chicken bones from Sunday's dinner, and instead of putting those in the freezer and making stock for later on, I mean, I do have stuff in the freezer to make stock, but since I was going to use stock for my chicken noodle soup. I just figured I'd just go ahead and cook the bones today and use that stock for the noodle soup. That took 3 hours. Now if you want to cut that 3 hours out of today's meal, use canned chicken stock. Whether store-bought chicken stock or homemade chicken stock, you could cut 3 hours out of your day. We did make artisan bread, and it is so good. But we started this day at 7:30 a.m. It's 11:35 now. We've been in the kitchen for 4 hours, but we made a homemade chicken stock to go with our soup. We made homemade artisan bread. 4 hours. You can break this up in a couple days, make your chicken stock one day, and then make your soup the next day, make your bread ahead of time. Whatever you need to do to get a healthy meal on your table, do it. Do it today. Do it now. But I'm just being upfront, letting you know it took us 4 hours for this soup. But let's look at it. Family. Smells so good. Alright, let's get a scoop. Noodles are cooked perfect. I'm gonna make sure we get some of that broth and some chicken and all those delicious vegetables. Family, that looks so good. And a piece of artisan bread. That is the perfect lunch. Want to make sure we get the perfect bite. Chicken, some vegetables, the noodles, some broth. All right, here we go. It's going to be hot. That is so comforting. And some bread. And I wanted the bread to be for dunking. With simple ingredients, you can make real food in your house. Real ingredients. Chicken broth has some health benefits to it that outweigh anything that you can get from the store or any supplements you can take. Homemade chicken stock is so easy and so healthy. This is a perfect cold and flu and whatever else is out there fighting food. Get in your kitchen and make some homemade chicken stock to go with some homemade chicken noodle soup. There is nothing like it, family. I just want to say thank you for hanging out with me in the kitchen this morning while we made some chicken stock and some homemade chicken noodle soup, plus some delicious homemade artisan bread. If you find this video of any value, please hit that thumbs up. While you're at it, please subscribe. I would love to have you part of the Grammy family. Right here, you'll see a couple videos that will give you some insight on how I cook in my kitchen and how I hope I can inspire you to cook in your kitchen. Until next time, y'all have a blessed day. Bye, family. This is so good.